Yeah, so we're Tyler and Lydia Lund, and we live here in Salina, Kansas. We have 3 beautiful daughters of our own, and at the time right now we have 3 foster placements from ages 2-year-old, about to turn 2, all the way up to 18 years old.
Yeah, I think I had just, to add a little bit of just why I was interested in foster care before even getting married was probably just seeing other families who did foster care and hearing about adoption through the years. So I would bring it up from time to time, and Tyler was never totally opposed, but it definitely wasn't the right time. So just praying for him seemed like a good option, because once he was ready, I knew that, hey, we will go all in. And it happened like that. We had a couple of conversations, talked with a couple of foster parent friends, and 2 weeks later we were in the class. So yeah, we had a conversation with the kiddos, but our oldest was 5 at the time, and about to become 5. She was probably 4.5, and then our youngest was 2. And so our 2 younger daughters, they haven't known anything different for the most part. Our eldest, we talked to her about it, and I think it was viewed, at least in her eyes, as just something fun almost. We started with respite care and emergency placements for the first month or so, and she loved that. So.
She did. It was neat to see our daughters get involved and see what role they get to play. I remember one time, one of our very first placements, we had 2 little boys, maybe like 10 years old and 8 years old, and it was bedtime. And the 10-year-old wanted another cookie, and we had enough cookies. It was time to go to bed, and he started to get agitated. And I'm okay, how do I handle this? And all of a sudden, he bolts for the door. He runs out the door, and he's going to run. So I try to get out in front of him, and I know I'm not supposed to like restrain. And what do I do? And I'm trying to remember all my training. And our daughter, who's I think 5 years old at the time, comes out the door and says, "Hey, remember what Daniel Tiger says? When you want to roar, take a deep breath and count to 4." And she helped him breathe and count to 4. And he was about to jump off the balcony and run. And he came back down, breathed, and then came in the house. And just to see her, not get scared or be startled by it, but just joining in with us and helping fill in the gaps where I wasn't able to know exactly what to do, but she was there. So it's been fun to see how she's gotten involved in the other kids and just accepting and loving their little foster brothers and sisters.
We have a unique situation in that we have currently an 18-year-old who came to us about 2 years ago when she was 8 months pregnant. And so at the time she had just turned 16, and she, English is actually her 3rd language. So she and I communicate in Spanish. We communicated in Spanish at the time, and she has since learned English very well. She's doing great in school, but we had the chance to actually support her through giving birth to this child, and of course that was done in Spanish, and there was a few of us that worked together to help make her feel comfortable through that process. But so she is in foster care, but then her daughter is what they call a satellite placement, and so that means that her daughter is not in foster care, but we are kind of responsible for her in different ways as foster parents. And she, right now, because she's 18, she could age out, but she still has 1 year left of high school. So she will remain in foster care until that's completed. And then there are some other aspects of her case that have to fall into place in order for her to be able to be released from foster care. And so, we knew going into it that she would be at least a 2.5-3 year commitment. And so that has helped tremendously. You can't always predict how long you'll have a foster child, but with her and the situation with her parents, we knew it would be that longer term commitment. So that's actually been, it's been helpful.
Yeah, it's been an interesting dynamic with our oldest foster child as a teenager, just all the dynamics. On any given day, think about the conflict that could happen in our home, and we see there's a language barrier that can cause some issues. There's raising a teenager that has its own problems.
And we haven't had our own teenagers yet.
We're learning teenagers. Yeah. We're learning how to speak that language, or the lack of language there. We also have the dynamics of having a teenage mom, and that she's an immigrant. So it's not just language, it's cultural differences. And so there's all these things that could be at play. But I think that's the temptation, is to think it could get so messy, it could get so complicated. It's just going to be so much work. And it is work, but we've also seen so much richness in our family. And yeah, like, oh, she's going to be a drain. There's a lot of appointments and work that we have to do to care for her. But she's been such a great influence on our daughters. She's so much help around the house and just helping us do life, that I think we can come into this thinking, man, it's just going to be a drain, but there's also a lot of life that's given back, and we see that with her. And it's also a nice experience to be able to not just serve one foster child, but also helping her become a mom and helping her learn how to parent her daughter has been a rewarding experience.